So, how have the top UK law firms performed over the last 12 years? We're going to use this simple graphic to demonstrate how the performance of firms have varied over time. Now, this graphic contains 5 different dimensions, so let me just explain each of those dimensions one by one. On the vertical axis, we have profit per equity partner, or PEP for short. It's one of those measures that many firms use as the best return on investment of a partner's time. Now, there are some detractors to the use of this as a measure of profitability, and there's some justifiable reasons for that. But overall, many firms would say it is perhaps the best we've got when we're looking at this comparatively. Across the horizontal axis, we have the number of equity partners, and we're using the number of equity partners to demonstrate the size of firms. At the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see a year. The year is 2002. And as we play what will become an animated graphic, the date will move across from left to right through to 2013. So we're going to see how these firms have performed over those 12 years. And when I say firms, I'm referring to each of these bubbles. Each bubble represents one UK-based law firm showing its global results, both in terms of profit per equity partner and number of equity partners. It excludes firms that are based overseas yet have offices, say, in London or elsewhere in the UK. And the size of each bubble represents the overall profit each of those firms earn. So one might expect the ones which have more equity partners are likely to have a greater profit. So before we run this graphic, you can see the position in 2002. There's a group of about 4 or 5 firms which are quite large compared to others. There's one firm which is clearly the most profitable firm. And as we run the graphic, remember this is 2002, an arbitrary date, but one where we're just coming out of the post.com bubble burst. So what we will see is some of the results potentially going down. So let's run the animation and just see how these firms perform. Now, as you can see, there is that slight drop afterwards, and then you begin to see those 4 firms, which are the largest, beginning to come together in terms of overall size, as well as their profits increasing, as we're seeing the good year. And the most profitable firm is increasing and even becoming even more profitable. Now we see the recession, and there's a slight slump. Notice how some firms are affected more than others. And post-recession, there's a rush in terms of mergers, mainly overseas, and those big 4 or 5 firms are now joined by another 4 or 5 or 6 firms, and even more are to come as we go through into 2014. So by the end of 2013, we now see there are about 10 or 11 very large firms there with varying degrees of profitability, ranging from some of the most profitable to still very good profit levels. The most profitable firm, though, at the beginning of 2002 has remained right through to 2013. But notice here on the left how it's been joined in relative terms by a group of about 8 firms, which, although small, have exceptional profits as large as some of the largest firms. Now, what does this graphic tell us, and what does the animation tell us? It gives us insights into the strategies that the firms have adopted, and as we drill down into the detail of each firm, we can begin to unpick and unravel and see the actual tactics each firm has chosen to adopt, or the way the partners have responded to changes in the marketplace. And these insights can help partners understand how their actions on a day-to-day basis contribute to the profitability of their firm and the individual profit per equity partner that they will receive.